Is Idaho a good place to live? Maybe you've heard that everyone and their dog wants to move to Idaho, but you can't figure out why. What's the big deal about mile after mile of potato and corn fields? And how is it that Idahoans can tell that you're a non-Idahoan just by the way you pronounce the name of their capital city? And is there really any difference between Idaho, Ohio, and Iowa? Idaho can be a good place to live, depending on your personal preferences and your family's needs. It's not for everyone, but for those of us who were born here or who have chosen to live here, it's a great place. Idaho offers a lot of room to move and grow. In other words, we don't have much population density. We don't even have 1.5 million people in the whole state, and it's a pretty good-sized state. Crowds and traffic jams are few and far between, except for the annual state fair in August and the occasional accident on the freeway at rush hour. Outdoor recreational activities are everywhere. Even if you live in Boise, you can just walk out your door and be in a beautiful green area within a few minutes. The Boise Greenbelt, for example, stretches along the river for 25 miles through Boise and Eagle. You can walk, ride a bike, or run on the Greenbelt, and in fishing season, you can stop to drop a lure in the water on your way home from work. Mountains, sand dunes, lakes, and rivers, Idaho has it all, and most Idahoans are very outdoorsy. RV garages are very popular on newer homes in Idaho, and just about every garage is packed full of camping equipment, ATVs, and kayaks. Idaho has a relatively low cost of living compared to many other states. Our real estate and rental prices did go up a lot during the COVID pandemic, but we're still relatively cheap compared to many areas of the U.S. On the other hand, our wages may not be as high as you would find in another state. These things tend to balance themselves out. So if you're thinking of a move to Idaho, be sure to find out what wages are like in your occupation and whether or not there are any jobs available in that field. And I think Idahoans are still by and large very friendly and welcoming. We like to wave to our neighbors when we're out walking the dog, even if we don't know those neighbors. And usually we will get to know them. In smaller towns, people still wave at everyone who drives by. And speaking of dogs, Idaho has the 3rd highest rate of pet ownership in the nation, and a lot of those pets are dogs. Dog parks, dog groomers, and doggy daycare are easy to find in Idaho. If you like to have variety in your weather, Idaho can offer you all 4 seasons all packed into one day, especially in the spring and fall. You may be wearing thermals to walk the dog in the morning in March, and by afternoon you will have changed into shorts and a t-shirt. Winters can be long and cold up in the mountains, but down in the Boise metro area, our winters are generally fairly mild, with only a few inches of snow on average. Summers, meanwhile, can get really hot in the Boise area. If you want cooler summers, you'll want to go up into the mountains to escape or go to northern Idaho. If you're thinking that you want to relocate to Idaho and you're asking yourself, is Idaho a good place to live? You'll want to do your research before you make a decision. Visit us, take a look at the available housing and jobs, check out the medical care and education systems carefully, especially if you'll move to the more rural parts of Idaho, and visit with the people. If your research shows that Idaho is a good place for you to live and that it meets the needs of you and your family, then welcome to Idaho. I'm Laura Triratnobus with John L. Scott Real Estate in Boise, and I'm happy to answer your Idaho real estate related questions. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe.